Hello, fall breakers. Today I'm reading to you the legend of the Spookley, the square pumpkin. The Legend of Spookley, the Square Pumpkin by Troiano, illustrated by Susan Bonta. One day, in the pumpkin patch, the strangest little pumpkin hatched. Spooky wasn't like his friends, where they had curves, he had ends. Spooky was different. He was odd. He was rare. Spookley the pumpkin wasn't round. He was square. When the round pumpkins had fun rolling along, poor Spookley had to just sit there, shaped all wrong. He tried and tried with all his might, but he couldn't budge. He just sat tight. The other pumpkins teased him because he was square. Spookley wished he was round and could roll everywhere. That is, until one night when they all discovered it's fine to be round when the weather is fair, but there are times when it's better to be square. Halloween was just a day away when a mighty storm blew across the bay. It tossed the round pumpkins to and fro. It snapped their vines, then off they'd go. Bouncing left, slamming right, banging, bashing, what a sight. Spookley sat there filled with fright, but glad to be square that night. Why do you think he's glad that he's square on this night? Suddenly, the fence gave away. 3 pumpkins rolled out into the bay. The bay is like the water, right off the land. Spookley knew what must be done. It was up to him. He was the one. He teetered, he tottered, he tipped, he tried, and finally flipped. He was on his side. Again he tripped, again he flopped, and he flipped, and then he stopped, right in the gap where the fence had been snapped. He blocked the way, the hole was capped. All the pumpkins shouted, "Hooray!" Spookley the square pumpkin had saved the day. Then a pumpkin hit him with a whack. He thought his shell would start to crack. Then another one hit him with a thump, and another one with a smack. Oh no, they're all rolling right into Spookley. What do you think's gonna happen? Then one by one, a ton of pumpkins piled on the sack with a bang and a bash and a crash and a crunch, and then it all went black. At dawn, when the storm had stopped, the farmer came out and checked his crop. He picked his pumpkins up one by one and laid them out in the warm, dry sun. And when the last one was moved away, the farmer could see what had saved the day. An odd-shaped pumpkin, short and dense, was wedged against the broken fence. What do you think that word dense means? Its shell was bruised, its stem was too, but there was this brave little Spookley sitting straight, strong and true. Right then and there, the farmer knew of all the seeds he'd ever sown, Spookleys were the most special he had ever grown. In the next year, when it was time to sow, he sowed those seeds in every row. He watered and weeded and watched them grow. And oh, that morning about mid-June, when the pumpkin patch began to bloom, there were tiny pumpkins everywhere, hundreds and hundreds, most of them square. How did he grow so many square pumpkins? Some were cubes and some were rectangles. Some were flat and others triangular. There was a bed of bright red ones and 2 rows of blue. There were polka dotted pumpkins and rainbow ones too. There were thousands of colors and hundreds of shapes. Oh, what a garden variety he makes. Which pumpkin do you think is your best? I like the polka dotted. Now, every year on Halloween, Spookley's patch is quite a scene. People come from far and near to see what wonders grew that year. They stop, they gawk, they gaze, they stare. Then they pick a pumpkin that's round, triangular, or perfectly square. Now you may say the story of now you know the story of how Spookley grew, but someday I'll tell you someone too. They'll tell someone who will go tell another someone, and maybe one day we will all discover you can't judge a book or a pumpkin by its cover. The end. I hope you enjoyed this book, and the AR quiz number is 140838. Have a great day.